Beauty is a tree that nobody knew existed for years and years. They only knew about it from the fossil record. These fronds showed up in fossils millions of years old. But toward the end of World War II, at a Buddhist monastery in China, they found living examples of this tree. I believe it was in 1944. And eventually, some of them got over, actually distributed around the world. The first ones came to the United States in 1948, the year I graduated from high school. And they were kept down at the National Arboretum. I kind of think this must have been one from the original bunch, because it's bigger than any I've ever seen. It's actually one tree, and somebody asked about, well, 4.5 feet is right about where it splits. If that is the case, they've refined the rules where if it splits at 4.5 feet, you measure it at the smallest circumference under 4.5 feet. So whatever that might be. And they've also refined the rules. The reason we have the biggest known tree in Maryland is because it's growing on a bank. And it used to be when a big tree was growing on the bank, the rule was you measured the circumference from the high side. Right. And some of us argued for years that the tree didn't start growing from the high side. Right. And they finally amended the rule just about 4 or 5 years ago, where you measured from the high side and the low side, and then you average those two. Now they've refined it. You measure where 4.5 feet is from the high side, 4.5 feet from the low side, and you find the median, which is a real challenge sometimes, because you need to have a ladder or something to get up to it, and you measure it at that median point. Anyway, that's what, so we got to remeasure our sycamore, which turned out to be the biggest known tree in Maryland.
So this is still a state champion, this one?
What's that?
This Dawn Redwood is still a state champion?
Well, yes, it is. It's the unofficial state champion. Okay. It's funny, you were asking me, did I check with the owner here? I've never been able to track down the person that owns this. There's a person that rents this house, and I asked him about visiting these trees, and he said, yeah, that's fine with me. That's all right. I asked him about signing the permit to list the tree, because the Department of Natural Resources won't list the tree unless we get a signature. If any of you would care to sign the paper. So they've got another one listed, but it's not as big as this one. So if you check the state list,